Hi, I'm Sean Gannon, and this is Minute Math, and today we're learning about dividing rational expressions.
Minute Math, when you need help you use Minute Math.
We're given this expression right here, 10n divided by 9 divided by 13n squared divided by 16. And we need to simplify this expression. Well, we know dividing a fraction is the same as multiplying its reciprocal. So I'm going to rewrite this, 10n over 9, but instead of dividing, I'm going to multiply it and flipping it. We have 16 over 13n squared here. Now what we want to do is see if there's anything that we can, cancel each other out. Well, 13 doesn't really have any divisors. That's prime. And 9 is just 3, and 3 doesn't go into 10 or 16. So there's no way actually that we can quickly simplify this. The only thing I can see is, well, there's an n here and a n squared. So we can get rid of the n squared and just leave it n. And so now we just actually have to multiply across the numerator, which is 10 times 16 is 160. And the denominator, 9 times 13, is 117. And don't forget the n. And that's actually it. Our final answer is 160 over 117n. We're given this expression right here, 16n divided by 17 divided by 8n over 6. And we need to simplify this expression. Well, when I have division with fractions here, I like to rewrite this as a multiplication problem. 16n over 17, and we multiply now, we just flip the second fraction. 6 over 8n now, okay? So then from here, let's go break down what 16 is. 16 is, well, 4 times 4. 6 is 2 times 3. And 8 is, well, 4 times 2. And 17, well, is prime. So now let's go see what we can cancel out. And we can keep, some of them I know we can keep breaking down, but if we need to, we'll break it down more. But we actually don't need to. This 4 cancels out with this 4. This 2 cancels out with this 2. And what are we left with now? So across we have the numerator, the n's too. I almost forgot the n and the n here. Cancel each other out. So numerator, we have 4 times 3, which is that 12. The denominator, 17 times, well, nothing. Everything else got eliminated out, so it's just 17. And that's it. 12 over 17 is our final answer. We're given this expression right here, 2/7 divided by 18 over 8x squared. And we need to simplify this expression. First thing I'd like to do is rewrite this as a multiplication problem. 2/7 stays where it is, but now we're multiplying and we flip the second fraction. 8x squared over 18. Now let's break down what we, can. 18 breaks down to be, 2 times 9. And these 2's cancel out right here. We can cross that out. Well, 9 doesn't go into 8 at all. They don't share any common divisors, and 7 neither. So we're actually kind of done breaking things down. Let's keep on going. The numerator, just 8x squared is left over. The denominator, we'll have to take the 7 and multiply it by this 9, gets us to 63. And so that's actually it. Our final answer is just 8x squared over 63. We're given this problem right here, 12 over 7 divided by 4 over 11r, and we need to simplify this expression. Well, with division here, I like to rewrite this as a multiplication problem. Keep the 12 over 7, but instead of dividing, I'm multiplying here. And we flip the second fraction. 11r over 4. So now, what we want to do is see what we can, break down and eliminate. 12 is 4 times 3. And now I can see, 4 in this denominator and 4 in this numerator cancel each other out. Nothing else seems to, easily at all cancel each other out. So what we're going to do then is multiply across the numerator. 3 times 11 is 33. Don't forget that r. Over our denominator, which 7 is the only thing left over. We have a 7 here. And so that's it. 33r divided by 7 is our final answer. We're given this problem right here. 7 over 18 divided by 6 over 9a. And we need to simplify this expression. I first like to write this as a multiplication problem. 7 over 18 stays the same, but instead of dividing, we're multiplying, and we flip the second fraction. 9a over 6. All right. Well, an 18 we know is 9 times 2. Now we can see this 9 and this 9 cancel each other out. Well, 7 and 6 don't share any common divisors, and same with 2 here. So now we just have to multiply across the numerator and the denominator. 7 times a, 7a. 2 times 6 is 12. And that's it. 7a divided by 12 is our final answer. We're given this problem right here. 5 divided by 20 divided by 5x over 3. And we need to simplify this expression. This is a division problem, and I like to rewrite these as multiplication. It makes it easier to see. So 5 over 20 stays where it is, but instead of division, we have multiplication. Flip the second fraction, 3 over 5x. This one's actually pretty easy to solve. We see the 5's here can cancel, and nothing else really cancels. 3 and 20 don't share a common divisor. So we multiply across the numerator. Well, 1 times 3 is 3. Denominator, multiply across, 20 times x is 20x. And so there we have it. 3 over 20x is our final answer. We're given this problem right here. 4n divided by n minus 6 divided by 4n over 8n minus 48. And we need to simplify this expression. Well, a division problem like this is the same as multiplication if we adapt it. So let's rewrite this, 4n over n minus 6. And we're going to multiply the fraction, but we're going to flip this one. So we have 8n minus 48 over 4n. All right. Well, 8n minus 48, I see I can pull out an 8. So I pull out an 8, I'm left with an n minus 6 here. And so we can rewrite that and kind of say, hey, we have 8 times n minus 6 in that numerator. Now let's cancel out what we can. 4n and 4n here cancel pretty easily. And we can see the n minus 6 here. And this n minus 6 cancels as well. And so what are we left with? Well, in the numerator, we just have that 8. Denominator is just 1. Don't need to write that. So there we have it. Our final answer is 8. We're given this expression right here. 3 divided by 28b divided by 3 over b plus 1. And we need to simplify this expression. Well, I'm going to rewrite this problem. First fraction stays the same, 3 over 28b. For the second part, I'm going to be multiplying instead of dividing. I'm going to flip that fraction. b plus 1 over 3. Okay? Well, what can we do here? We'll see if we can cancel out some parts. 3's cancel here. That's great. But b plus 1 and 28b really have nothing else that they can simplify with. So this is actually a fairly easy problem now. b plus 1 stays in the numerator, and the only thing in the denominator is 28b. And so there we have it. b plus 1 over 28b is our final answer. We're given this expression right here. 7a squared divided by 7a to the third plus 56a squared divided by 2 over a squared plus 7a minus 8. And we need to simplify this expression. Well, I'm going to rewrite this to be a multiplication problem. So we take our 7a squared over 7a to the third plus 56a squared. And instead of dividing, we're going to multiply and flip the second fraction. A squared plus 7a minus 8 goes to the numerator, and the denominator is just 2 here. All right, so now I'm going to factor where I can. 7a to the third plus 56a squared. 7a squared is in both parts. That leaves me with an a plus 8 left over. Here, this can factor. And it factors to be, well, two numbers multiplied to be negative 8, but add to be a positive 7. And that's a positive 8 and a negative 1. So now we're going to try to cancel where we can. I see an a plus 8 here in the numerator and denominator, they can cancel out. I also see a 7a squared and a 7a squared. And remember, these are replacements when we factored it out here. So what are we left with? Well, the numerator, we have an a minus 1 left over, and the denominator, we just have a 2. So a minus 1 divided by 2 is our final answer. We're given this problem right here. 6 divided by 28x plus 4 divided by 6 over 35x plus 5, and we need to simplify this expression. Well, I like to rewrite this. So I rewrite the first part, 6 over 28x plus 4. And when I rewrite this, it's going to be a multiplication problem, meaning I can make it multiply now, just flip the second fraction. 35x plus 5 now over 6. So let's factor where we can. Down here, 28x plus 4. I can pull out a 4 from both parts. I'm left with a 7x plus 1 here. And this numerator, and by doing that, I'm canceling that out, right? Replacing it with 4 times 7x plus 1. 35x plus 5, I can pull out a 5 as well here. And I'm left with 7x plus 1, replacing that 35x plus 5. Now let's cancel where we can. 7x plus 1 here cancels. The 6's cancel. And what are we left with? Well, just the 5 and the 4. 5 is in the numerator, 4 is in the denominator, and that's it. 5/4 is our final answer. We're given this problem right here, x squared plus 10x plus 16 over x squared plus 6x plus 8 divided by 1 over x plus 4, and we need to simplify this expression. I'm going to rewrite this instead of as a division problem, as a multiplication problem. So we rewrite the first part, x squared plus 10x plus 16 over x squared plus 6x plus 8. And instead of dividing, we're going to multiply, and we're going to flip the fraction. X plus 4 is in the numerator, over 1 now. Alright, so now let's go factor. These parts right here looks like it can factor, and they factor out to be, well, what two numbers multiplied by 16, but add to be 10, and that's a 2 and an 8. So we replace x squared plus 10x plus 16 with our factored form. Same thing with the denominator here. We can factor this. What two numbers multiplied by 8, but add to be 6, and that's going to be a 4 and a 2. Okay? And then cross that out. So now we can see what can we eliminate. I see x plus 2 in the denominator, x plus 2 in the numerator, x plus 4 in the denominator, x plus 4 in the numerator, and that's basically it. What are we left with? Well, our numerator is just that x plus 8. Denominator is just the 1. Don't need to write that, and so x plus 8 is our final answer. We're given this problem right here, 49x plus 21 divided by 6x divided by 42x plus 18 divided by 6, and we need to simplify this expression. I first like to rewrite this as a multiplication problem. So the first part stays the same, 49x plus 21 over 6x, but instead of dividing, we're multiplying, and we have to flip the second fraction. 6 over 42x plus 18. Alright, so now let's see if we can factor this a little bit. 49x plus 21, I can pull out a 7. Pulling out a 7 leaves me with a 7x plus 3. So let's replace that. Down here, same thing, 42x plus 18, I can pull out a 6, and I'm left with a 7x plus a 3. Cross that out, we're replacing it. Now let's cross off what we can. 7x plus 3 and 7x plus 3 cancel out. The 6's cancel, and that's all that I can see cancels. So what's left over? There's a 7 left in the numerator, and the denominator is just the 6x. And so 7 divided by 6x is our final answer. We're given this problem right here. 7 divided by 8r minus 40 divided by 1 over 8r minus 40, and we want to simplify this expression. Well, I don't like to write this as a division problem, but more as a multiplication problem. So we're going to take 7 over 8r minus 40 and leave it there. But instead of dividing, we're going to multiply, and we're going to flip the second fraction. 8r minus 40 over 1. Alright, so now let's see what we can cancel out. Well, I normally like to see if I can factor this out, but I notice there's an 8r minus 40 and an 8r minus 40 here in the numerator. So that whole thing actually is exactly the same, can cancel each other out. So this is a super easy problem now. Numerator is just a 7, denominator is a 1, don't need to write that, and so 7 is our final answer. We're given this problem right here, 1 divided by 2a divided by 8a over 2a squared plus 16a, and we want to simplify this expression. I like to rewrite this as a multiplication problem. 1 over 2a stays the same, but instead of dividing, we're multiplying, and now we flip the second fraction. 2a squared plus 16a comes to the numerator, and the denominator is just 8a. Alright, so now let's factor what we can. The numerator here, I see a 2a's in both parts. So if I pull out a 2a, I'm left with an a plus 8 here. So let's replace that with 2a times a plus 8. Now, oh, I wrote AA. That's a 2a. If you caught that, let me know in the comment section below. Alright, but I fixed it now. So we have a 2a right there. So now let's see what cancels out. Well, I see a 2a here and a 2a cancel out right there. And really there's nothing else left that can cancel. So 1 times a plus 8 is a plus 8. Don't write a 2. And the denominator, we just have, well, 8a. And that's it. A plus 8 divided by 8a is our final answer. We're given this problem right here. 8 divided by 4n squared minus 16n divided by 1 over n minus 1. And we want to simplify this expression. Well, I'm going to rewrite this as a multiplication problem. 8 over 4n squared minus 16n stays the same. But instead of dividing, we're going to multiply. And we're going to flip the second fraction. N minus 4 goes to the numerator, and 1 is just in the denominator. Okay, now we want to factor where we can. I see a 4n is in both parts here. So if I pull out a 4n, I'm left with an n minus 4. So we replace 4n squared minus 16 with its factored form. Now we want to cancel out where we can. N minus 4 cancels here, and well, 4 goes into 8 2 times. And that's it. That's all I really can cancel out here. So let's bring over what's left over. Numerator just has a 2. Denominator, well, everything really cancels, just n times 1, which is n. And there we have it. 2 divided by n is our final answer. We're given this problem right here. A minus 4 divided by a squared minus 2a minus 8 divided by 1 over a minus 5. And we want to simplify this expression. Well, I'm going to rewrite this, but as a multiplication problem. A minus 4 divided by a squared minus 2a minus 8 stays the same. But instead of dividing, I'm going to multiply. And we flip the second fraction. A minus 5 is now in the numerator, and then the denominator is 1. Alright, so now let's see what we can factor. Well, down here, I can factor that out. What two numbers multiply to be negative 8 will add to be negative 2. And that is a positive 2 and a minus 4. 2 times negative 4 is a negative 8. Add the 2, we get negative 2. So we're going to replace this with its factored form. Now, what can cancel out? Well, a minus 4 and this a minus 4 cancels out, and really nothing else. So what's left in the numerator? A minus 5 is left over. Denominator, a plus 2 times 1, which is just a plus 2. And that's it. A minus 5 over a plus 2 is our final answer. We're given this expression right here. B squared minus 2b minus 15 divided by 8b plus 20 divided by 2 over 4b plus 10. And we need to simplify this expression. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is rewrite the first half, the b squared minus 2b minus 15 over 8b plus 20. But instead of dividing, I'm going to multiply, and I'm flipping the fraction. That's the same thing. So 4b plus 10 over 2. This makes it easier for me to cancel some stuff out. But before we do that, I need to factor some. B squared minus 2b minus 15 does factor. What does it factor into? Well, it's a b plus 3 and a b minus 5. 3 times negative 5 is negative 15, but we add the 2 and we get negative 2. So we replace this with its factored form. Now down in the denominator here, I can pull out a, well, kind of planning ahead of time. I know if I pull out a 2, I'm left with a 4b plus 10 here. So I'll replace that here with 2 times 4b plus 10. I purposely planned ahead, seeing that there's a 4b plus 10 right there. So now let's eliminate some stuff. 4b plus 10 here, and 4b plus 10 here. Eliminate, and well, nothing else really eliminates that I can see. So up top, we still have a factored simplified form, or factored simplified form. B plus 3 times b minus 5. In the denominator, well, we have this 2 times that 2, which gives us a 4. And so b plus 3 times b minus 5 divided by 4 is our final answer. We're given this expression right here, 10b squared plus 42b plus 36 divided by 6b squared minus 2b minus 60 divided by 40b plus 48 divided by 3b squared minus 13b plus 10, and we need to simplify this expression. Well, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this, but as a multiplication problem. So the first fraction stays the same, 10b squared plus 42b plus 36 divided by 6b squared minus 2b minus 60. But the second part is being now multiplied, and we're flipping the fraction around. 3b squared minus 13b plus 10 is in the numerator, and now the denominator is just 40b plus 48. Now I'm going to factor some stuff out. This numerator right here, 10b squared plus 42b plus 36, factors out to be a 2 times 5b plus 6 and a b plus 3, or times b plus 3. So I'm going to rewrite that in factored form. This denominator factors out to be a 2 times b plus 3 and times 3b minus 10. I'm going to cancel that out and write it now in factored form. Second part up here, 3b squared minus 13b plus 10 factors to be a b minus 1 times 3b minus 10. Cancel that out, or replace it. And here, we're just pulling out an 8. If we do that, we're left with 8 times 5b plus 6, and we're replacing that. So we replaced a whole bunch of parts of this fractions and put them in factored form. And this allows us to cancel some stuff out, okay? So what do we have here to cancel out? Well, I see a b plus 3 and a b plus 3 here cancels. A 5b plus 6, 5b plus 6. 3b minus 10 and a 3b minus 10. And then, well, what do we have left here? Oh, a 2 and that 2, don't forget that. And pretty much a lot has been eliminated. What's been left over? Well, in the numerator, we just have a b minus 1 left over. In the denominator, we just have, well, the 8. And so b minus 1 over 8 is our final answer. We're given this expression right here, 16x minus 56 divided by 8, divided by 8x minus 28 divided by 4, and we need to simplify this expression. Well, I'm going to rewrite this as a multiplication problem. 16x minus 56 stays there over 8. But instead of dividing, we're multiplying, and we're going to flip the second fraction. 4 is in the numerator, and the denominator is 8x minus 28. Now let's see what we can factor. Well, I can pull out a 4 here in the numerator, and I'm left with 4 times, well, 4x minus 14. And notice I didn't factor it all the way. You'll see why in a second. So replace that with 16x minus 56, or replace 16x minus 56 with this factored form. I'm going to pull out a 2 here in this denominator. By doing that, I'm left with a 4x minus 14. So 8x minus 28 is replaced with 2 times 4x minus 14. And now you can see why I left it in that form, or didn't factor all the way. Same here. 4x minus 14, 4x minus 14 canceling each other out. Okay, well, what about this? 4 and 2, 2 goes in 4 2 times, we're left with that. And well, 4 and 8, 4 goes in 8 2 times. And then these 2's cancel each other out. So what are we actually left with? You might be thinking 0, but that'd be incorrect. We have 1 in the numerator and really 1 in the denominator. So we're actually left with just a 1. And so our final answer is just, after all that, 1. We're given this problem right here. 10x squared minus 28x plus 16 divided by 2x minus 4 divided by 25x squared minus 25x plus 4 divided by 5x squared minus 41x plus 8. And we want to simplify this expression. Well, I'm going to rewrite this really big thing and instead of division, be a multiplication. So the first half is still the same, 10x squared minus 28x plus 16 over 2x minus 4. And then instead of dividing, we're multiplying and we're flipping the second fraction. 25x squared minus 25x plus 4 here over. I rewrote this top one. Well, if you saw that and wondering what I was doing, let me know down below, but I caught it. Remember, like I said, we're flipping the second part. So a 5x squared minus 41x plus 8 is in the numerator, and the denominator is a 25x squared minus 25x plus 4. All right. So now what are we going to do? Well, let's go factor what we can. 10x squared minus 20x plus 16 does factor to be a 2 times 5x minus 4 and a x minus 2. So we're going to replace that with this factored form. The 2x minus 4 we pull out a 2. You have 2 times, well, x minus 2. Replace that. 5x squared minus 41x plus 8 factors to be a 5x minus 1 times an x minus 8. And let's replace that. And again, we're going to do the same thing down here. That in factored form is 5x minus 1 and 5x minus 4. And we're replacing that as well. So now what we want to do is see what we can eliminate from the numerator and denominator. I see an x minus 2 and an x minus 2 here. 5x minus 4 and 5x minus 4. 5x minus 1 and 5x minus 1. And I see a 2 and a 2. So what are we left with? Well, the numerator, only thing I see is an x minus 8 there. And the denominator, nothing else. It's a 1. Don't need to write it. So after all of that, our final answer is just x minus 8. We're given this problem right here. 6p plus 27 divided by 18p squared plus 36p divided by 16p plus 72 over 2p plus 4. And we need to simplify this expression. Well, I'm going to rewrite this problem as a multiplication problem. First part stays the same. 6p plus 27 over 18p squared plus 36p. But instead of dividing, we're multiplying, and we're going to flip the fraction there. 2p plus 4 is now in the numerator, and 16p plus 72 is now in the denominator. All right. Well, let's see what we can factor out here. I can pull out a 3 in the numerator, so we have 3, and we have 2p plus 9 when I do that. So let's replace it with this factored form. Denominator, I can pull out an 18p, and I'm left with a p plus 2. So let's replace that with its factored form again. Pull out a 2 here in this numerator, and we have 2 times p plus 2. And again, replacing it with factored form. And here I can pull out, well, an 8. Pulling out an 8 leaves me with a 2p plus 9. Replace it with factored form. Now we're in factored form. Let's cross off what we can. I see a 2p plus 9 and a 2p plus 9. I see a p plus 2 and a p plus 2 as well. And anything else? Well, 3 and 18. 3 goes into 18 6 times. There's 6 right here. Anything else I can cancel? And I don't see anything else, really. Well, actually, hold on. 8 and 2. 2 goes into 8. We have 4 times here. And now, I've done everything. Numerator, there's nothing left. It's just a 1. The denominator, we have 6 times 4, which is 24. Don't forget that little p that's winking at you. And there we have it. Our final answer is 1 over 24p. We're given this problem right here. 3x squared minus 25x minus 18 over 27x plus 18 divided by 5x minus 3 over 5x squared minus 33x plus 18. And we need to simplify this expression. Well, I'm going to rewrite this as a multiplication problem. First part stays the same, 3x squared minus 25x minus 18 all over 27x plus 18. But instead of dividing, we're going to multiply, and we're going to flip the fraction. 5x squared minus 33x plus 18. Now, if I write it, goes in the numerator, and the denominator is just 5x minus 3. So now, let's factor. This first part here factors out to be a 3x plus 2 times x minus 9. So we're going to rewrite that in factored form and cross out the original part. Same thing down here, 27x plus 18. I can pull out a 9, and I'm left with a 3x, or 9 times 3x plus 2. and we're replacing that with our factored form. We're going to factor the numerator here, and that comes out to be a 5x minus 3 times x minus 6, and we're replacing it with its factored form, and 5x minus 3 is already simplified. So now what we're going to do is really cancel out what we can. I see a 5x minus 3 in the denominator and in the numerator. I see a 3x plus 2 in the denominator as well as the numerator. And nothing else really looks like it can simplify and cancel out. So what are we left with? Well, the numerator, I have my x minus 9 here times x minus 6 over the denominator, which all that's left is 9. And so x minus 9 times x minus 6, all divided by 9, is our final answer. Hope this video was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to this YouTube channel and like this video. This helps us make more free math lessons for you and for everyone else. So as always, thanks for watching.
Minute Math. When you need help, you use Minute Math. Minute Math, Minute Math. When you need help, you use Minute Math. MinuteMathTutor.com.